Hey guys, Keith here. I just want to make a quick video. Some of the equipment and different tools and stuff I use when working with Kydex. But before I get started, just want to acknowledge a couple of the guys I've been watching on here over the past, I don't know, month or so, and learning a lot from these guys. Three of them have really helped me out just from watching their stuff. Is John over at Philly EDC. He's got a lot of good videos up. He's putting them up all the time, makes some good stuff, and I've learned a lot from a lot of his do-it-yourself videos. He does good instructional stuff. So thanks, John, for all of that, and also thanks for the knifekits.com discount code. I believe I used that 3 or 4 times during October, so helped me save a little bit. That's always a plus. Thanks. Another guy that does some good stuff is Adam over at Gunfighters Inc. Got some awesome looking stuff. Always thinking outside the box. Doesn't like to do the norm, which is awesome. His mag carriers are just amazing looking. Learned a lot from him just watching his videos there. And then Century Gun Leather, he's got a lot of good holsters and a lot of good stuff over there. He does some good work. So those 3 guys there are kind of who I've been watching and trying to kind of not necessarily copy, but kind of get some ideas from them and kind of put my own spin on them, so to speak. But on to the video here, I was wanting to do is just kind of go over some of the tools and equipment that I use, just to kind of, if you're looking to get started, wanting to know what to get, what's going to help you out, stuff like that. So first off, a notepad. Get a notepad and keep notes on everything you're doing. Write down whether it's a knife or a holster that you're making. Write down the back piece was this size, front piece was a little bit bigger, it was this size. That way when you get your finished product, you can go back and look, how much Kydex did I waste, could I done something different, could I have shaped it differently. So keep notes on everything that you're making. It's going to help you refine your process and streamline everything so that you can better make your stuff. Next will be some sort of marking device, whether it be a pencil, marker. John's got a video out on, I believe they're Stabilio markers. I'm not sure if they're just an art pencil or what, but they're water soluble. So after you've marked on your Kydex, it just takes a little bit of water, towel, and those come right off. So those are definitely going to have to look into those, because when you do use pencil, if you heat it up a little bit, it does become quite tough to get it off the Kydex. So that's just something to keep in mind there. Next, you're going to want to have a heat source, whether it be an oven, a small toaster oven, or a heat gun. I've got a small toaster oven I use. Also got a heat gun. I bought this one here at Lowe's, I believe it was. It's $39. It's got a high and a low, variable temp. I believe it goes from about 110 degrees up to about 1100. So you can really dial it in. That way you don't scorch your Kydex, because if you do get it too hot, it will become shiny, and you can tell it's been heated up too much. So $39 at Lowe's, Porter cable. It's come in real handy. Next, you're gonna obviously want some sort of press. Some people choose to take just buy the foam and then cut out some plywood and just use clamps. I kind of went the lazy route and just bought mine from knifekits.com. I just got the 8x12 press. It does work well, although if I go with some bigger items, I'm gonna have to come up with something. I've almost had some problems with some full-size handguns that I've done. It's kind of tricky to get them in there. Also clamps. Clamps come in handy, especially if you're using the foam with the plywood. This here's a little 6-inch C-clamp, nothing special. I've also got a little quick clamp here that comes in handy. I actually use it on my press. It did come with a chain, however the chain is not very useful. It either doesn't put enough pressure on the item, or you can't put enough pressure on it to get it down to the next link in the chain. So I've just been using clamps here, and they've been turning out really well. Next thing I've got is just a little cheap Exacto knife set. This here comes in real handy. Like Century Gun Leather says, you know, everybody's been writing forever, so this here comes natural, and you can be a little bit more exact with it than you can with a box cutter. However, after I kind of score it and get my line with the Exacto knife, I do come back with a box cutter, because that allows me to get a little bit more pressure. I can get down in there and cut it a little bit easier. Just makes it easier when you're snapping the Kydex. It's not necessary. You can do all of it with an Exacto knife, but this here I just run 1 or 2 times down through my cut, and it helps out a lot. Next is sandpaper. I've got sandpaper laying everywhere, it seems like. Anything from 60 grit all the way up to about, I believe I've got some 600 wet sandpaper, which I don't think is really necessary. About the 400 seems to do pretty good. And another little thing that I've learned recently is steel wool. This here, I don't have the correct kind today. I found that the double-aught steel wool seems to work really well. This here, the 4-aught, just seems to kind of fall apart a little bit more, but the double-aught, you can take it, and once you've got your edges on your Kydex about where you want, you can use the steel wool instead of the wet sandpaper, and you rub it on there pretty good. It's going to heat it up, and it puts a really nice edge on your Kydex. So that's something you might want to look at and see how it works out for you. Next is the drill. You want to have some sort of drill. Again, I just got the little cordless drill here. You're going to want that obviously to drill holes for your rivets, whatever you're going to put in there, and the matching drill bits for whatever rivets you're using. If you're using the number 8, it's going to be a 1/4 inch drill. If you're using the number 6, it's going to be a 3/16 drill bit. Next is the flaring tool for the rivets. I also bought this off of knifekits.com. This here is the flaring tool. You're going to put the side that's already got the flare on it, the little button on this side, and then you put this up through the shaft of the other one, and then this here creates the rivet, the flare for the other side. I also bought this off of Knife Kits, just a little jig that holds this setup here. Put the button in the bottom, and then this part through the top, and then use an Arbor press to do this. You can use a C-clamp. That's how I started out. It really sucks using a C-clamp. It's difficult, it's slow, and I found myself a lot of times wanting to throw the vise, all that other stuff. It's just a pain in the butt. Arbor press helps out a lot. So that's another thing that you're going to want to get. Next, not really necessary, but this here, again, saw this on John's channel there. He's got it laid out. These things here come in real handy when you're laying out your Kydex and you want to get some straight lines and you want to line everything up from one side to the next. That way you've got some straight corners. That way one corner is not straight, one's kind of off to the side. This will help you lay things out and you know, get things laid out correctly and how you want them. Just makes life a little bit easier with this here. And going back to the heat, it's nice to have some gloves. These here, of course, I use the little pot holders when I'm taking the Kydex out of the oven, but handling it, these here come in handy. You take them out, take the Kydex out with these, and it's not going to burn your hands. It just lets you work with it a little bit easier as you're setting it up, getting ready to press it. So gloves are really, really helpful. You're also going to want to have some sort of ruler just to kind of help with layout. Just got two different ones here. Just something to help again with the layout of your project that you got going on. Next is some clips to hold your Kydex together. These here are real handy. Again, something else I saw in John's video. John, I took a lot of ideas from you. These here do help in the layout process and set up, kind of mocking up everything how you want it. When you've got the two pieces of Kydex cut out and you haven't riveted them together, but you're kind of wanting to line everything up, make sure everything's good, these clips here come in real handy as far as keeping the Kydex together. So there's something there that helps out a lot. Next, I've got the brass black. Also got it off Knife Kits. I know there's several other places you can get it, but just for convenience, I got it off there. Excuse me. When you flare your rivets, they are going to scratch, and the black finish is going to come off of them. They'll look kind of gold or tarnished a little bit. So this here obviously turns them back black. Helps you get a nice looking product. You know, if you're like me, those little details will drive me crazy. You know, I want everything to look good and as close to perfect as I can get it. So this here helps with that process. Next, I've also got some Scotch Brite. Scotch Brite helps with some of the edges. It's not going to work as well as the steel wool, but if you don't have any steel wool, once you hit your edges with about a 220, 320 type bit sandpaper and get the real deep scratches out of it, this here will put an okay edge on it. So that is another option there for you. Next, when doing mag carriers, I like to use snap caps. I don't use live rounds when I'm heating them up. I do know some people that have and have never had an issue with rounds going off or, you know, cooking off, so to speak. But just for safety reasons, I use snap caps. They work obviously just as well as a real round. So just somewhat of a safety tip there, I guess. I don't want a round going off while I'm working on it. Next is a little bag I picked up from Walmart. Just some little round dowels is what they are. I believe this here was like $1.97. This is going to help on your setups when you're using a weapon that's got some really tall front and rear sights on it, and you want to kind of get a channel down through your Kydex so that you're not getting trapped in anything. Like I said, I think this here was $1.97 at Walmart. It's got dowels in it from 3/16 all the way up to 3/8. So that's a little bit cheaper than going to your, you know, craft store or Home Depot or Lowe's where you're, you know, having to buy 2 and 3 foot dowels for each side. So this here, I believe, is just in the craft section at Walmart. A couple bucks. It helps out quite a bit. Next, this here I just picked up last week. Nothing special, no hot rod brand or anything. I actually picked it up at a pawn shop for about $5. It's just a little palm sander. It cuts the time down to next to nothing when you're getting ready to finish up the edges and getting them close to finished on your project there. This really helps a lot. I'm glad I picked it up, especially for $5. You can't go wrong with that. So just a little something else that's gonna help out a little bit. Next is a square. Again, this comes in handy when you're wanting to lay out straight lines, and it just helps with setup. Also, if you're wanting to, if you're making a holster and you want to put, say, 10 degrees of cant, 15, 20, whatever. This here comes in real handy. You can lay it out. You got your pivot point here, and then degrees are on this side. So as long as you got a straight edge on what will be the top of the holster, keep your pivot point in the same place. Move this down here, whatever degrees you want. There's 15. Then you can take your pencil, kind of scribe on your Kydex there, make a mark, and then when you come back with your gun and you're laying it out, you've got a nice line there that is going to get you the degrees of cant that you want. So there's something else that's helped me a little bit. Next is not really necessary. This is just the old compass I had lying around, taking some drafting classes, so I had to unfortunately do some board drafting, which really sucks. But anyway, the compass here I've used to, what I'll do is take the, just a second, piece of Kydex here. Take just a piece here, if you got it laid out, and I'm using the number 8 rivets, so they're 1/4 inch, and I want them all to be the same distance from the edge of the Kydex as I can possibly get. So what I'll do is I normally set this for about 3/8, and then I'll put the point on the edge of the Kydex, and then just kind of make me a line around whatever my project is, and if there's curves, of course it'll follow the curve, and then I can go back, and if I'm using this here, I can lay out, okay, I want to rivet here, and then that way when I go back and drill my holes, I know that these are going to be the same distance from the edge. They're not going to be all jacked up where I've got one here and one over here, and it doesn't look right. So the compass just kind of aids in that process, where I can make me a line down through the side and kind of get my rivets a little more consistent. So just a little up there. Next, like I said, I did pick up an Arbor press from a friend. I have seen them online as cheap as $29, $34. I know Harbor Freight's got some. Some people don't like Harbor Freight or whatever, but you can find them on Amazon, different places. I definitely recommend an Arbor press. Next convenience item is I got a scroll saw, and that helps when, of course, making some intricate cuts where you want to shape things a little bit more. The scroll saw does help there. I do got a tabletop belt sander, which probably cut time, I would say, just about in half. Before I got it, and these still come in handy, but I was using some sanding blocks here, or just this here where you can put whatever grit sandpaper you want in, but they take forever doing it this way. So I do recommend some sort of belt sander of some sort. Those do help out. Next, I picked up a little cheap vise. I got a little cheap tool store in town. Nothing special. Just got the suction cup base. I think it was like 14, 15 bucks. And then what I did is I work in a machine shop. So we had some scrap angle iron laying around. I take these, put them in the jaws here, and I can take my Kydex once I've got it finished, and I'm going to put a curve in the holster or whatever. I can put it in here, tighten it up, and of course go ahead and heat it up and everything. But this here allows me to get a good straight, crisp, clean line in the bend wherever I'm going to put it. So this here is just another little tip I've run across. Helps out a lot. Cheap vise, some scrap angle iron, helps a lot. So I guess that's about it. Yeah, of course you want some screwdrivers, maybe a Leatherman of some sort. I know John uses some automotive tools for removing rivets that he's ripped. I've just used the Leatherman screwdriver. Once you get it so far to push it on out, that helps. So that there's just some of the little things that I've kind of learned in my process of messing with Kydex. I guess that's about it. Don't really know anything else I've got laying around that's helped out. Actually, yes, I do. I've got my dremel. This here has also been a lifesaver. I've got the little attachment on it here, so it's flexible. A little bit easier to use. But these little sanding drums here seem to last forever on Kydex. They work really well. I know Adam at Gunfighters Inc. He's got the cordless one, which I would really like to have. Seems to be real easy. You don't have to mess with the cord and all. He uses one of those. So the Dremel, just another convenience tool. Not really one that's necessary, but it does make life a lot easier. So I guess there you go. That's kind of what I use. If I think of anything else, hopefully I'll be uploading some more videos here of some holsters I've done. I do have one here for a Chorus 1911. It's a full size, straight draw. It's cut for make it a little bit easier sitting down. Got just some standard belt loops on them here. That's one there. Just messing around with a little prototype deal here with the little skeleton type holster like John's been messing around with. He makes some good stuff there. Kind of where I got the idea for this one. This one's pretty rough. Not really happy with it. Wish I had made this come up a little bit higher so it didn't rock. However, it does hold on to the weapon quite well. Comes right on. Weapon is clear. Not going around the loaded weapon. So something I'm going to be fixing here is this one. So just a little something I got going on there. Hopefully we'll see you again here real soon. Thank you.